This is a video about plate tectonics. Plate tectonics is a theory of the movement of the Earth's crust. The crust is broken up into many pieces, called plates. These plates move freely on the surface of the mantle. The theory of plate tectonics led to the theory of the continental drift. This picture illustrates continental drift. Continental drift is the movement of continents from each other due to the pulling apart or pushing together of tectonic plates. The continents used to be arranged into the supercontinent Pangaea until the movement of plates separated them into the world we know today. Here's a picture of the surface of the Earth, also known as the crust. It is this crust that is broken up into the plates that move around the entire world, causing volcanoes, mountains, and earthquakes. The crust of the Earth is made of two layers, the lithosphere and the asthenosphere. The lithosphere is what we stand on, the rigid, cool, and brittle surface of the Earth. The asthenosphere is the hot and viscous lower mantle. Here we have a slug. Slugs happen to be very slow-moving creatures on this Earth. You want to know what else is extremely slow? The plates of the Earth. The crust moves at about 2.3 centimeters a year. This just so happens to be the same speed that an adult's fingernails will grow. Subduction is the movement of one plate going under another plate, going the opposite direction. Subduction occurs in convergent boundaries, where the force of the two plates slamming into each other makes one go beneath the other. There are different types of plate boundaries: convergent, divergent, and transform. This is a convergent boundary, continental oceanic. This means that the two plates, one oceanic and one continental, are pushing against each other, causing one plate to subduct where the heat of the asthenosphere melts it. Another convergent boundary is an oceanic-oceanic boundary. It is a convergent boundary that occurs between two oceanic plates. These boundaries cause underwater hotspots and volcanoes. The last convergent boundary is a continental-continental boundary. It happens between two continental plates. Instead of one plate subducting, though, the plates just push each other up, creating mountains. Another type of boundary is a divergent boundary. Divergent boundaries occur when two plates pull away from each other. A divergent boundary will create new land on the surface. There are usually large rifts in the ground where divergent boundaries are. Sometimes these rifts will be filled with salt water. The last type of boundary is a transform boundary, also known as a fault. Transform boundaries are where two plates slide next to each other. The sliding of the plates will cause earthquakes to the surrounding areas. There are two parts to a fault line, the footwall and the hanging wall. The hanging wall hangs above like a ceiling, and the footwall, named for its shape that is similar to a foot, is the part you would be able to stand on. In this picture, the hanging wall is the top section and the footwall is the bottom. There are three types of fault lines. This one is a normal fault. In a normal fault, the hanging wall falls while the footwall rises. The next type of fault is a reverse fault. A reverse fault is the reverse of a normal fault, hence the name. In a reverse fault, the hanging wall rises and the footwall falls. The final fault is a slip-strike fault. This fault doesn't involve a hanging or a footwall. It is just a vertical fault. It is caused by plates sliding together like a transform boundary. Effects of the moving plates are visible everywhere. Mountain ranges like the one in this picture are formed by continental-continental convergent boundaries. The force of the plates slamming into each other makes the ground rise, making the mountains. Large rifts in the ground, like this one, are the result of divergent boundaries. The plates pulling apart reveals new land and opens holes for heat from the asthenosphere to escape. Earthquakes are a devastating effect of plate boundaries. On a transform boundary or a fault line, when the plates move, it shakes the ground. That is an earthquake. Earthquakes are destructive and deadly and can even create tsunamis. A very famous effect of plate tectonics is the Pacific Ring of Fire. This is a large area brimming with volcanic activity. The volcanoes that form the Ring of Fire are caused by convergent boundaries. The plate that is subducted melts beneath the other plate. Magma is then forced up through the crust and breaks free, creating volcanoes.